Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Yashwant. Hare Krishna Puneet. So, thank you so much for being here today. And today we are going to start a series of talks every day for next few days, maybe 4 days maximum. Every day it will be like 20 minutes. So overall it will be around 2 hours, maybe a little more. So let's do this seminar. And this is all about our own identity, our true nature, our true character. Because if we can understand our true character, if we can understand uh, why I am like this, because most of you youngsters, you are having challenging time understanding your own self, understanding your actions, understanding your nature, understanding your personality, understanding your attitude, and it's a big challenge to understanding our own true self now. So this seminar should throw some light on understanding this aspect. I think this can help you to better handle yourself in your spiritual life, in your material life, in our travel in the path of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so let's start today. Uh, so the point is that sometimes I just heard recently somebody using a mobile phone, or just imagine you yourself are using the mobile phone and it has got that what do you call, the face recognizing facility. You see the phone and then and the phone recognizes you and it opens itself. So that is how it is. But just imagine one day you are using your phone, but it doesn't recognize you at all. And it's a big thing, you can't open the phone because you're surprised, you cannot open the phone by your face. Your face has not changed, but the phone cannot recognize you. So so uh, similarly uh, we our true nature is that we are the souls, and um, and we are somehow not able to recognize that we are souls. That means our true identity has been hijacked, and that's by the mind. So that's how can you understand this point, like, for example, most of the times when we act outside, when we deal with our friends, relatives, when we go out and work, and we do so many things, and sometimes we feel that after doing certain thing, you realize that you didn't want to do it, but you did it, and after that you realize that I should not have done it. That means you have not done it. Somebody else has forced you to do it. That means something else. The mind compelled you to do it. That means it's not you who did that. It's the mind which forced you. And then, like this, so many things can happen when your mind gets hijacked. So, so, so let's try to understand our true personality. So, if you go back to our original state of existence in the spiritual world, when we were existing as pure souls, we were delightfully blissful. We were totally happy, and we were full of knowledge, and we were full of love, and we were full of Krishna consciousness. We were full of love for Krishna, and we were so happy in that mood. And that state is called the state of Satchit Ananda of the soul. That is the original, the conscious, the original consciousness of the soul is that it is eternal, and it is full of knowledge. It is fully conscious, and it is full of Ananda. So that is our true nature. And so, and one more thing, that the Atma is Anandamaya. It is full of bliss, We don't have to go out and borrow some happiness and feel it. It was instinctively, it was intrinsically. Intrinsic means from it is made of happiness. It is happiness. So it is Anandamaya. Krishna is he is the Ananda Sagara. He is the ocean of happiness, and we are small, tiny particles of happiness. So that is our state. Now, next thing happens. The turning point comes when we, the souls, we misused our independence. That independence is called as free will, because now there is a deep loving connection between us and Krishna. That is a flow of love that is happening, a flow of bliss. And love can only exist when there is freedom. Love cannot be forced. So that freedom was the gift that we had with us. Krishna had given this freedom to us to love him or not to love him. So love means you just allow the person to love you, and it also includes freedom to not love. That is the meaning of love. Love is not something like a robot, and it's programmed to just serve love. It doesn't work like that. Love means that it has to flow from the person to Krishna, and then it has to be totally independent. That the freedom should be there to be able to love. So as I said, we have the freedom not to love Krishna, and the spiritual souls that we are, we looked at the Prakriti. We wanted to see something else. We wanted to. We thought that we will try to look for something else rather than Krishna. We wanted to have some fun, not with Krishna, but something else. Like we thought there is another option, some other option where I can find some happiness. So that freedom was there. So not to love Krishna, but to find something else to be happy. So that's the turning point. That is the time when the first covering on the soul happened. The first covering, the layer. Because till that time we were totally in love with Krishna. And after that, this first covering comes on you. The covering is the desire in the mind to find happiness apart from Krishna. It's not against your nature. It is allowed, actually. It is the freedom which allows us to select something else from Krishna. So it's not some crime. It's just that you use that independence. But how does it function? That misuse of independence is the first covering of our consciousness. The pure original loving consciousness of the soul is first covered by that layer of desire. That is the first covering. Okay, so like that. So I have some very important things. Let's discuss one by one. And when we look at ourselves now in this condition where we are living in this world, which is not spiritual world, that one desire not to love Krishna, but find happiness somewhere is the first covering. And that is the cause for us to be in the material world. The spiritual soul moved from the material world into the spiritual soul now doesn't exist in the spiritual world anymore because of that desire. And then we are in the material world and we are dealing with matter. Now, this class is important because I'm just starting from the basic, then we will go into advanced stages where we understand how this practically happened from that one desire in the mind. The next stage is how the whole thing, now you see the picture that you are in this world, but there are some stages. There are different levels of covering that happened to make us come to this material world. It's not just that we moved from the material world, spiritual world to this material world. There are different levels of covering which cover us, our conscience. The soul is covered by different layers. Now, as I said, the first layer is the desire, the misuse of independence. That is the first layer. That is a very sukshma, that is very subtle, that is very deep inside, which is the cause. Now, after that, the point is that the Sankhya philosophy in Bhagavatam, especially in the third canto, it is explained about the different layers in which our spiritual consciousness is covered. Now, I'm going to speak about the 4 different layers. I'm not going to use the spiritual words, the Bhagavatam words. Today, I'm going to use simple words to make you understand how the first covering is, as I said, that desire in the spiritual world, and Krishna grants that desire. Okay, you want to enjoy independent of me? Well and good. Go ahead. I'll facilitate. That's why this material world exists. The material world exists because we desire to have a place where we can enjoy independent of Krishna. It's not Krishna's plan to have the material world. It is our desire which Krishna mercifully fulfills. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the 4 layers now in a very simple way. The first layer that covers is the layer of. Okay, now before I tell the layers, now we need to understand that when the Atma, when the spiritual soul comes into the material world, then it has to function in the material world. Because the soul is defunct, default, it can exist in the spiritual world. It is not meant to be in the material world. Just like the fish is meant to be in the water, it cannot live outside. We cannot live inside the water. If we want to live in the water, then we need to have a different set of things, different set of senses to be able to function inside the water. Similarly, we need different senses to operate in the material world. Okay, so this is the point. And our coverings, as I said, we are covered in different layers. And the covering is like if there is a bright bulb, and then if you put a cloth on that, then it becomes dull. The brightness comes down. And then you put another cloth, it becomes more dull. Third cloth, more dull. Fourth cloth, it is totally now darkness. So the coverings are making the soul consciousness to become gross. That means the more coverings, the more ignorance of the soul about its true identity. So what are the four layers? The first layer that covers the true consciousness of the soul are the impressions. So many impressions. The soul is pure, and it is in pure love with Krishna. But now the soul is covered in the first layer, and that layer are the different impressions, different experiences that we experience when we come to the material world. We take different bodies, we meet different people, we act differently, we get treated by different people in different ways, we experience happiness, we experience sadness, we experience fame, we experience insult, success. All these impressions are the first covering. These impressions are the coverings of the soul, first layer. And the second one is that it is the identity, that it is our identity in the material world, because our true identity is the soul. But when we come to the material world, then we have impressions. And then second one is that we get an identity, the identity that I'm the mind, I'm the body. This is the second layer of covering. Okay, and the third layer is the layer of decision making, because we are in the material world. First we have an identity, and before the identity we had so many experiences. And then the identity has to function with some intelligence, and that intelligence is mostly the material intelligence. The intelligence is the intelligence that helps the identity, the person, to function. Okay, this is the third covering. So the first covering is the impressions, the second covering is the identity, and the third covering is the intelligence with which the identity functions, and the fourth covering is you can say the mind. And the mind is by nature, it's very restless. It is always full of desires, it is always full of fear, it is always full of anxiety. These are the four layers. I told you in a very simple way. I didn't use any technical words, but tomorrow onwards, when we talk about different layers, then I'm going to speak about in a very in the Bhagavatam way, in the words that Bhagavatam uses, that we will start using. And in that way, the consciousness of the soul is covered by four layers. Today is just a trial. We are going to speak a lot about this in the next 2 3 classes, and we will understand our true identity. The good news is that the coverings on the spiritual soul are not permanent. Right now we are not experiencing Satchit Ananda, we are not experiencing Anandamaya. We are experiencing pain, suffering, confusion, anxiety, problems, death, old age. All these things are coming because of these coverings. So gradually we will try to understand. Uh, Next class we'll try to understand what are the different coverings, what are the names, what they represent, how they function. So by understanding these things, we are understanding our true personality. We understand why we are like this, why we are sensitive, why we are anger, why there is anger, why there is some fear, why there is anxiety, why there is depression. How to deal with these things can be very easy if you understand how we became like this. मैं ऐसा क्यों हूं? अगर ये हमने समझ लिया, then we can change our identity and we can regain our true identity, true spiritual consciousness, and that is the goal. That is the goal. So purification is the goal. Now our consciousness is coming down from pure spiritual consciousness. It is not evolution. It is, you can say, devolution. It is going down. How it is going down, how we fell so far, so low, we have to understand so that we can get up, rise again. Okay, so tomorrow's class will start that, and we'll try to understand these points. I request everybody to be part of this and understand, and this will truly be helpful for you and for myself and for our advancement in Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Today's class ends here. I would like to ask you if you have any question. Yes, somebody was asking some question. Yeah, what was the question? Go ahead. Hare Krishna. सवाल क्या है? When we are totally in love with Krishna and we are in a state of such a, why did we try to find our happiness? Okay, so the question is very simple. If we are truly in love with Krishna and if you're truly happy, then why did we make this choice? As I said, independence is always there. So independence is what gives meaning to the word love. Love without independence is not love. It is some mechanical arrangement. It's some robotic activity. So Krishna has given this facility to the soul, the free will, the independence. And as you said, when we are in love, as you said that when we are in love, then why did we leave? Yes, that's true. It's the very minute fragmental number of souls who have misused that freedom. Just like in a city, people live, but not everybody is in the jail. How many percentage of the population is in the jail? It's like 0.001% of persons are in the jail. They don't follow the rules. But most of the people are outside. They are free, independent. They are doing their own activity, and the government is supporting. But there are some who have not followed the government rules. They are in the jail. So that minute part is this material world, who have misused the independence, who have used the free will to enjoy independent of Krishna. That's why this material world. Material world is just very small part of Krishna's existence. You can say 1/4 part. 1/4 part. 3/4 is the spiritual world. 1/4 is the material world. Is it okay? Is it okay? Yashwant, is it okay? Hare Krishna. Today's class ends here. Today's class ends here. We'll come tomorrow. We'll discuss more detail. Today I just gave a trailer. Please do come and understand this concept.